Hey, welcome to HVAC Animated. My name is Jeff Bennington and I'm your host. And today we're going to cover a sampling of a 2-hour course that I teach. It's called the 5-Star Customer Experience. And if you're an HVAC owner, if you're anybody that works in a heating and cooling company, sales, dispatch, service, install, I think you're going to like what I have for you. Stay tuned. Welcome back to HVAC Animated. So today I'm going to cover the beginning of a 2-hour course that I teach. It's called the 5-Star Customer Experience. And basically, the 5-Star Customer Experience starts with you. So it doesn't matter if you're the owner, the general manager, dispatch, call takers, if you're in accounting, if you're a service tech, installer, helper, everything in this is going to apply to you because you're all these gears working in this machine that ultimately determine what kind of customer experience your company is going to have. So you can't really hide in the shadows if you're an installer, or you can't hide behind a phone. The way you treat the customer and that customer's experience comes through each individual that works for the company. So the first thing you need to know in a 5-star customer experience is that 5-star customer experience starts with you, each individual in the company. And although these several points I'm going to bring out vary depending on what your role is, in some ways, most of these are going to apply to you. So number one, your appearance. And obviously, this is going to come down more to your sales. It's going to apply to your service techs, your installers, because they're actually there in the home and they're making a physical first impression. So let's just get into that a little bit because I think this might be a little bit underrated, but your appearance, it's the first impression you make with the customer. It's the first time they see someone from the company. They might have talked to somebody on the phone who scheduled the appointment, but you're the first person they see. So if you're a technician, a helper, an installer, it's vital for you to come to that door and make an excellent first impression. You need to be clean. You need to be neat. You don't want to smell like a chimney. You don't want to smell like a toilet. And you don't want to smell like an armpit. These things, whether you like it or not, in any business relationship, appearance makes a difference because people can't help but to judge you on appearances. Whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's human nature. So it's really important that your appearance is sharp. It's crisp. You're clean and ready at every call. If you're a service tech, how many calls you take in a day? You need to be clean and presentable and smell decent every time you come to each new customer's home. You want your shirt tucked in. You want booties on your shoes. If your company doesn't give you something to cover your shoes and or tarps to lay down from the moment you walk into the door to the time you get to the unit, then you need to ask the company to provide that. If they don't and you care about your appearance and the way you appear to the customer, then get some for yourself. But you need to be ready to show that you care about the customer's property. And when you're giving them that first impression, it's really important that your appearance is good at the very first time that they see you, because you're planting a seed and you're building trust even before you walk in the door. So by showing that you care about yourself first shows that you respect the customer. If you can't even respect yourself and your appearance when you show up to their door, you've already lost a point or two in the customer's eyes in terms of how their experience is with your company. Okay, so after appearance is attitude. Attitude is really important, obviously. And attitude, it doesn't matter what your role is in the company. So if you're dispatch, if you're a call taker, your attitude is really important because that's how the customer gets their very first interaction with you. Okay, so if they see an ad or a billboard or a social media campaign or something and they call you, or they click on your website and they call you. The way you communicate is so important. And believe it or not, your attitude comes with you wherever you go. All right, it's like a monkey on your back. So if you are in a bad mood that day, you bring that into the customer experience. And so, because attitude is so important, I want to break down what's the difference between attitude and mindset, because there is a difference. So, your attitude is, think of it like a temporary feeling, right? It's your current mood. Our attitudes change. Our moods change. We can be happy, sad. There's things in our life that really make an impact and determine what kind of mood we're in, what kind of attitude we have. But your mindset, it goes deeper. Your mindset is what steers your emotional ship. So think of it like this. So you can wake up in the morning and you can be in a bad mood, right? You can feel grumpy all day long. But it's your mindset that kind of goes a little deeper. It goes deeper into the emotion. So if you have a negative mindset and you wake up in a bad mood, your mindset is probably going to steer that bad mood and just keep you there all day long because it thrives there. If you have a negative mindset, it is going to guide you wherever you go. Okay. Whereas if you have a positive mindset and you wake up and you're just not feeling the greatest, your positive mindset can lift you up out of that bad mood and steer your attitude in a better attitude. Okay. So that's just a little foundational way to think of mindset. But this is really important. Are you listening? Are you ready? Your mindset can be changed. Your mind, your brain, the way it works is liquid. The way you think can be altered. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 being extremely negative. I'm talking about like a negative Nancy, right? A Daryl Downer. And you know, that's the kind of person that repels people because they're so negative, okay? And then on the other side of the scale, a 10 is somebody that is like super powered body of charisma. And I mean that in a very very positive way. Like not a goofy over the top personality, but a meaningful, motivating personality that kind of draws people towards you. Okay. We're all in that scale somewhere. So where are you? Take a moment and just think about where are you on that scale from 1 to 10 on a negative mindset to a positive mindset. Okay. So you got that number in your head. All right, great. Now that you've kind of put yourself on that scale, I want you to think about what creates your mindset. Okay? So, there's a few things. So, your training, that's your experience growing up. Your programming, that's also your experience growing up, but it goes deeper than that. It's also the things you continue to feed your mind, right? Your mindset comes from what you think about. Your mindset comes from what you watch. Your mindset comes from what you listen to. Your mindset is what your mind is set upon. Okay? Mindset. What is your mind set upon? So this is really important because a lot of people come into a job where they're expected to be positive. They're expected to be a team member. They're expected to work well with others. You know, like the t-shirts where people wear says does not play well with others. Well, that's a reflection of your mindset. And when you have an occupation, especially in the service industry, and you're expected to give a customer a 5-star customer experience, but you have a, let's say, 3-star mindset because you lean towards a negative, or even if you're in the neutral zone, you have to consider that that is going to impact the customer experience. And if you are in the service industry, particularly with my audience, the heating and cooling industry, your mindset will roll over into the way you treat your customers. So customers that have like a miserable experience with a heating and cooling company because the people are negative, they're rude, that kind of thing, that's the employee's mindset rolling over into customer experience. And we don't want that. Obviously, you're getting paid to do a good job, and you're getting paid and trained right here to give a customer a 5-star experience. So let's talk more about mindset because this is important. And this is probably about as far as we're going to get today, because it get a little deep and we can't get too deep in these shorter videos. So your mindset's what your mind is set upon. Think about this. What you think about is what you become, right? So if your thoughts lean heavy on fear and negativity, then that really starts to define your whole life, right? If you're thinking about the worst possible scenario, if you're like afraid to make decisions all the time, like you're living like you're stuck in molasses. All right. You move slow. You never take risks. You're slow to make decisions, slow to trust people. You're fearful of everything. You're critical. And a lot of these things, a lot of times when people lean on the negative side, they don't want to believe that they're negative. They want to believe that they're right. But that kind of mindset impacts the customer experience. It emanates from us when we have a negative mindset or a positive mindset, or wherever we are in between on that scale, that emanates into our customer experience. So it's really important to think about that because you may not even be aware of how much you're impacting your customer's experience. And if you want them to have a 5-star experience, then you need to think about your mindset and how that impacts your work and the way you talk and how you communicate and your attitude. So the things that you think about that form these are habits. Your thoughts are habits. And I know it's like, what does all this have to do with the customer experience? Well, it has a lot to do with the customer experience because, as I said at the very beginning, a 5-star customer experience begins with you. So I'm talking to you as an individual, and your mindset does come into play into work. It comes into play how you interact with your employees. It comes into play how you interact with the customer, with their animals, with their children, how you respect their property, right? So it's important. So the thoughts that you have are the things that create your mindset. Our thoughts basically are mostly just repeating. They're day after day. We think about the same things. We're like a record player playing the same songs over and over. And there's a reason for this. It's called neural pathways. There's this thing in your brain called a neural pathway. It's like a rut. Think of it like a rut, like a wagon that goes down a dirt road for years, back and forth and back and forth. And eventually the wheels on that wagon have no choice but to slip into the rut and follow that path. And that's what neural pathways are. And those are the kind of things that really create and impact your mindset today. Many times we're not even aware of it. And these are literally pathways carved in your brain through repetition and time. And there's an old Hebrew saying that says, "Show me the boy when he's 7 and I will show you the man." And the reason that phrase was meaningful is because even 1,000, 2,000 years ago, people knew that a child in his early years, his primary years, are the things that really develop his mindset, the way he thinks, the way he will see the world, the way he responds to life, the way he responds to situations, the way they interact with others, the way they feel about themselves, and the way they see the world around them. That's your mindset. And it's all created when you're young. Now, as we grow older, a lot of times we make choices, right? And sometimes we steer away from the things that we were programmed to do and think. And sometimes, and mostly, we're really just living in those same pathways until we become aware that they're there. And then we can work on building new pathways. So bringing this up because if you want your customers to have a 5-star customer experience, you need to be a 5-star company. And you need to have your company filled with people with 5-star mindsets. And really, that's what I'm trying to do in the channel. That's what I'm trying to do with my website, HVAC Animated. And I hope that this training was helpful. I'll talk more about this, but I've got a lot of really good things coming, and I hope you enjoyed the content. And if you want to have more content like this, let me know in the comments. Let me know if this was helpful information to you. And let me know if you want to hear a little bit more on this. I'm going to have this entire course in video, but that's coming. It's not here yet. You'll have to be patient with me. But subscribe to the channel, like this video, smash up the like button, and share the video with your coworkers, with your teammates, and let me know what you think in the comments, because I really do want to bring value to you, and I want your company to be successful and to give your customers a 5-star experience. So if you enjoyed the video, thank you, high five to you, and have a great night.